ಆ ಹಣ್ಣು ಬುಕ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ಸಣ್ಣ ಬುಕ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ನನ್ನ ಮುಖ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಹೇಳಿ ಬೈ. ನನ್ನ ಮುಖ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಹೇಳಿ. Hi, very good morning, all of you. So, this is Ullas, and I am here to start this session for you all. And later, it will be taken over by Mr. Palnetra for the first day, and I'll be taking over the other two sessions. And I'll be trying to give you, and we will be trying to give you the best that we will be able to give in terms of giving a presentation and making a digital classroom more effective. So we all know that we have met here, and first of all, Diksoochi is very much thankful to you all for giving an opportunity for us to be there in front of you and to give you the best thing that we are able to give with respect to this digital era. Let me just move on with my presentation. I hope you are able to see my presentation right now here. And this is what we have, first day's presentation, about how to prepare an interesting presentation. This will be held or conducted by Mr. Palnetra. I'll be coming back to you to interact with you about the other things once I have we have the presentation done by Mr. Palnetra. So first of all, what are the things that we should keep in our mind when we are actually going with this workshop is something that is very much important, right? So before I just get into the agenda, the first thing that we should know is that what is that has called us to do this job here? So what was the reason that we started with this? What is the reason that you all are sitting there waiting for us to give you something? What is something that is so much important, right? The first thing that I would like to speak to you about is that a survey in India says that we have got somewhere around 30 lakhs of teachers with us. Think about it. We have got 30 lakhs of teachers with us. And we have got somewhere around like 60% of government college teachers or lecturers finds it very much difficult to go with presentations and to prepare them in a very nice way and to attract students with that presentation. So what we have done is this planning where we'll be speaking, give you a small introduction and objectives of Diksoochi, and will be given by a research scholar from NITK, that is Mr. Bharat Kumar S. And then we'll be followed by the presentation that will be given by Mr. Palnetra. So what is that we want here in this presentation? So let us speak about something that is quite specific. The first thing that I would like to speak is that about the condition that we are in. So what is the condition that we are in? We all know that never we worried about digital classroom some days before. A month ago, we never worried about digital classroom. It was only a few numbers who are using digital classrooms in India. But today, it is in such a peak position that we all want to do digital classroom. We want to go with digital classroom. That's something special, right? So here, what we see is that we have observed that there is somewhere around 60% of the teachers or faculties, they are finding it difficult to prepare a good presentation and to make it more attractive. Do you all think so? If you think that it is quite difficult for you, only for those who feel it difficult, you can just put a comment saying that it is difficult for me, or just you say that PPT, that's all. If you type PPT in the comment section, this is the way that we are going to communicate in this webinar, okay? So you type PPT, so we will understand that how many of you are finding it quite difficult to make a very nice PPT and attract students to do this. So other than that, when we spoke about the other thing, we are able to create a presentation, but it's very difficult in making our students to understand and stick with us with respect to the presentation when compared to the external or regular classes or theoretical or on a law class, I could say, right? So many of them say that. So this was some of the reasons or problems that I have got to know from different people. And I, being a faculty, even I have felt that difference because I'm not able to connect with the students as good as possible with respect to analog class through this digital classroom. But we can make it. So if we all stick together in learning something that is quite different and marvelous, we can make this digital classroom much effective. So how many of you feel that blackboard teaching was good? How many of you feel that blackboard teaching was good? Come on, let's type there, BBT. How many of you say that it is blackboard typing is important or it's good? You type BBT there in the comment section. Let me see that. How many of you are typing BBT there? Let's see that. So we have The other thing that what we saw is that engaging students in online classrooms. What is that problem that engaging classrooms, online classes? The engagement of keeping students engaged in the online classroom is the problem is that in first of the things that will be fine, we'll be seeing like we can say that are you getting it? Is there any problem? We can see the expressions of each and every student, and we will be able to see that like whether I'm able to reach to them or should I have to change my way of communication? And many things are coming up. Of course, yes, I agree that we will not be able to reach that NLR class through this digital classroom. That's always right. So, whatever the technology that we bring in, the relationship or the connectivity that a human being can get is never possible through the technology. I think you all agree with that, right? So, how many of you feel it is difficult to engage students in online classroom? Say yes or no. So you can type that yes or no. So if you find it difficult to engage students in online classroom, I don't know how many of you have tried online classroom till now. Still, if you have tried, just give a try. If you feel it is yes, it is difficult, you type yes. If you feel it is okay, no problem, we can just handle with that, type no there. The next thing that I would like to speak is about individual interaction. We are not able to connect to each and every student individually when we are taking a class. Yes, it's a big problem. So that what we can do is that we can go with a very different way, wherein we can have a meeting with limited number of students, what we call it as mentoring and all. So there we can understand the problems of students and we can come up with different solutions for other things, right? So that's another type of solution. So let's see how many of you see that there is a problem with respect to connecting with my students. So you just give me that it is a problem. Problem. You type problem. PROB. That's enough. You type PROB. If you type PROB, I can understand that it is a problem to connect with students individually. So this is what I have understood, right? The other thing, last thing that I'll be just speaking before I just get into the other PPT and video is that we have to change with time. That's very important. Am I right? So what is that change that we want? Let's see a video then. So this video, I think you will be trying to know, or we will be trying to tell you what is that we want to tell. It's a bit something always important, right? So let's see this video now. I hope you all enjoy this. Okay, give me a second. I got it. Yes, yes. I'll just start from the start again. Sorry for the inconvenience. We have got some problem with the audio here.
I'm currently working as a faculty in one of Diksoochi. Village there was to solve people. So once there was a fall. all of his three sons. So he called the first son. So he said,
So here we have small thing that we'll be speaking about. What is that we are speaking in terms of Diksoochi, whatever I think you just saw a small video. This video will give you a better explanation of that. Audio.
ನಿಮ್ದು ಹೆಡ್ಫೋನ್ ಕೊಡು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡು ನಿಮ್ದಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ದು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ okay hope I think it's fine now. Let's see the video now. Close ಮಾಡಿ ಆಡಿಯೋ ಬರ್ತಿದಲ್ಲ ಬೈ
once there was
ಆಡಿಯೋ ಬರ್ತಿದಲ್ಲ
no audio, not audio. Please go ahead.
Okay. I don't know. There's a problem with the video. I just come back to that. So what now is that?
What is the thing that start with? So I'll just start with my colleague. Start over the session for you all, and we'll be able to understand what is the presentation and how to do the presentation. The thing. Meanwhile, I'll just get back to you in a while. Give me a second now.
Hello. Hope I'm visible to you all. I'll share it. What about audio? Okay, fine. So in today's session, what we'll be dealing is why the presentation skill is needed. You would have seen like everyone would be giving you presentation, and the presentations will be so damn boring that usually we try to doze off. So what we are trying to do here is, I want people or the students to be awake, okay, in the class. So probably in today's webinar, there might be some teachers who is teaching for a kindergarten student or a normal high school student, or it might be a technical engineering, or some people might be also want to have some stage talks, or a speaker, they want to be a speaker. So what are the skills that is needed in a presentation is what I'm dealing with today. So basically everyone would have sat in a classroom, which is a normal classroom of blackboard and chalk type of uh, uh, training sessions, where we'll be normally dozing off. So what is the advantage of using this presentations rather than the normal traditional blackboard chalk method is what we are going to speak today. So today's agenda is, I have kept very few agendas for today. Why do I need to have the skill in the beginning? Okay. Factors to keep in mind while preparing the presentation. So what are the things that I should keep in mind while preparing the presentation? Later on, how to plan a presentation. Like how can I plan for a presentation? And at last, how to prepare a simple presentation using Microsoft Power. So these are the things that I am going to speak in this session. A very few points. Probably most of the attendees in today's session be more exposed to all such environments. But probably I just want to make sure that if you are good, like probably like obviously there might be a bigger tree to the taller tree. So I'm just doing a bit of my part today so that it would be some kind of knowledge sharing. So let's see at the beginning. Why do I need to have this skill? First of all, actually, presentation is not just a thing to share knowledge. It is actually a skill that we cultivate. It is not a 1 day or 2 days effort that we start doing the presentations. It is as you gradually keep on practicing day by day, your presentations, the quality of the presentations keeps on improving every day by day. So that's why we have to imbibe this skill. It is not hard. Every skill is not fiber. It can be you can comb it and you can get it to a better level every day by practicing. So right now, one thing is if I just stick on to my blackboard stuff, right? I can't reach the whole of the class. Probably two, three bright students who are like bookworms can listen to it, but not all of the class. Okay, so that's why one thing is we should have a skill on this presentation because I can reach all the community. That means today the class community. Next thing is the crisis. That is today's crisis. We have a crisis of corona lockdown, and we all are locked up in our homes for about 1.5 months in a straight stretch, maximum 2 months. And our kids who's coming to the schools or colleges are still not turned up. And how can we reach them? How can we talk to them? How can we convey our knowledge? How can we meet them? So one thing is by doing these presentations, the webinars, the online trainings, we can reach them and we can communicate. And even in this crisis situation, we can communicate and we can transfer the knowledge. That's why we need to have the skill. And lastly, but not least point, make our point more clear. So whatever I teach, whatever I explain, whatever the concept I want to transfer, whatever the knowledge I want to transfer, I want to make it clear that this is how you can do it. So these are the main things what I feel that I should be having a skill to present a good presentation. So a survey says a student can remember if he hear only 10%, if he studies 20%. So what he sees and what he does in the labs or whatever the practical theory things that he does in the class or whatever the hands-on session that he does or she does, that will remain in memory for 80% of the time. So that's why we want to have this visual aid, a presentation wherein it is not just reading, it is not just hearing to the lecture, it is also the visual aid. You are seeing that presentation. And if your presentations are so cool, or in other sense, it is so happening with some beautiful pictures in it and all, so it will be more good and more remembering for students rather than just keeping up the theory part. So an example, like just I wanted to give an example. Since I'm from Electronics and Communication Department, I have a CCN class which we usually speak about something called as process-to-process communication. So a normal mediocre lecture, if I'm a normal lecture, what I can do, I can just put this picture, a very boring picture where I have many structures and all. So I can tell that a process from top. So this is, say, the system in the bottom right corner is one point, and the top left corner is another point in a network. So they both want to communicate with one process. So this is how they communicate. Like the system has many layers. The data will transmit from application, transport, network, data link, and it moves to the network within the whole system, and it will reach the other point, Alice. And this will be very boring, very boring for anyone to listen to the class. Like probably the classes will be like 50 minutes or 1 hour in stretch, or sometimes it might be going for 2 hours or 2.5 hours if you want to complete a module. So basically, this is what we teach. Okay, but the thing is, how can I make it more improving? There is another survey which states a student can listen to a class for maximum 10 to 20 minutes. So there should be a break within that 20 minutes, or there should be some sort of activity in your class, or there should be something else. So how can I can reach this concept to my student? So one thing is I can add some visual aid. So what I did was in my class, I did a small experiment because this generation kids are very much involved in their cell phones. So they play a lot of games. So what I did was a very simple thing. I took an example of PUBG. I know most of my listeners today might also be playing PUBG. If you are playing PUBG, then please vote yes for PUBG or just type in PUBG in the comment. So I just take this example in my class because most of my kids or most of my students will be listening to or playing with the PUBG. So when I take that terminology, they feel to okay, something related to PUBG. So in that term, I can relate to my concept. So what I do is basically I just put some sort of GIFs like this. These are animated images, and then I start explaining the concept. So what I do is say for example, I and a student in my class, let me point it out Suhas. So if I'm very free with a student, I can take his name, or I can just take a name of the student. It's not a problem. But since I'm easy with this guy and he's my student, a tutoring student, so I have taken his name. So what I tell is, me and Suhas are at two different locations. So the locations might be like I'm at my home and he's doing some project in a self-learning lab. And he got bored and he started to play. He took a break and he started playing PUBG. And we both are now playing PUBG. So how do my PUBG from my phone will get communicated with his phone or his computer where he is in the college? So I take this diagram later, and later I start, say for example, in my phone, there's an application called PUBG is running, and that application will in turn communicate with the internal layer, that is transport layer within it. And that transport layer will packetize the data packet that is generated from the PUBG application, and that will be sent to the network. So within the network, it reaches the Suhas system. And once it reaches the Suhas system, it will again go to the transport layer of Suhas system, and it will then reroute to the application that is running there. That is a PUBG application. So by doing this, what I can do is I can actually grab the attention of a student. Even I can grab the attention of the whole class for one whole hour, because I've taken a name of a student in the class. So he'll be the limelight and everyone will be listening to the class. So this is how I can make my presentations more beautiful or more interesting, and I can also get the attention of students. So the next thing is, what are the factors to keep in mind? So if I'm bit fast, you can just let me know. I can be slow. If I'm okay, then you can tell good. So the factors to keep in mind while presenting a presentation or preparing a presentation. So three things. One is, who am I addressing? Who are my audience? Who are the people gathered in this class? Or probably tomorrow they might be calling me to a function, or tomorrow I might be presenting a party to the people. So who are my audience? First thing is that. The second thing is, what is the topic for the day? What am I speaking today? What is the thing I want to transfer? What is the concept I want to explain to the students? It is not more about covering the syllabus. It is more about uncovering the syllabus to the students. That is what the agenda we should be having in the class, whenever we go to class. And next thing is defining the objective. What are the objectives that I have to meet in this class? So if these three things have been cleared for you, then your presentations will be good. But wait, how to define these three things? At first, it might look something like this, and your window will be something like, you're lost. You're somewhere in between the maze, and you don't know how to get out of it, how to start, where to start, where will it end, how can I do it? So to make that get out, what I'm doing is I'm trying to clear your doubts today. So the factors that we keep in mind is, firstly, what you do is prepare the contents. That means to say the body. Or if I say some knowledge, something you have to transmit, some concept that you have to transmit. So if you want to transmit that, then first start preparing the contents, what you want to speak, or the contents that you want to touch. Then start preparing the body, and finally prepare the introduction and conclusion afterwards. So usually whenever people start preparing a PowerPoint presentation, they start from the first slide, introduction, then they write some introduction, then they write the body, then the conclusion. But usually that is not most of the times the right way. The right way is, first you have to point out, like just put some checkpoints, like what are the contents that I should be pointing to. So my content should be so and so. And if these are the contents, starting from that contents, you have to write the body. Again, most of the people, what I've seen when I was a student is, like, presentation would be like a paragraph. In my presentation, they would have written some 3 paragraphs and they were just speaking about the paragraph, or they were just reading out the paragraph. But that is not the right way, I guess, because no one wants to read the whole paragraph in a presentation. If that is the case, I can do it in my home, right? I can take a textbook, I can start studying that. But why should I have that presentation? So keep again one more thing in mind. Whenever you want to prepare a presentations, the presentations need to be precise. That means to say either a line or a point. Just put some points and speak about that points. You be expressive. Okay. So these are the main things that I want to have. So when you have these two things, that when you have the contents, when you have created the body, and when you have prepared the introduction should be in such a way that it should be attractive. So at the very introduction of the class, you should gather the attention of the students, so that you have to create that curiosity within the students by doing something out of the box. So that's what I said, like in the before 2 slides or 3 slides, I explained the process to process communication. So the process to process communication was like, it was something out of the box. I just took 2 examples and I started explaining the concept. Similarly, you can also do the same way. You just have to have a solid introduction, and at the end, a conclusion which supports the content that you have created. So at the end, you will be having a clear maze. So you would have flown through, you would have reached your objectives, and you would have completed the whole thing. So you can come out of the maze and you would have got the particular solution. So usually whenever you have introduction, you have to prepare a presentation. Keep in mind, have 3 things: introduction, body, conclusion. Start with the body, then think about what and how can I introduce and how can I conclude that. So this is the basic. So with this, why don't we just see a hands-on session of simple presentation using PowerPoint. So hope you all are ready, and let's get started. So before doing, like, I want all of you not to start doing it side by side, because just see this presentations as of now. Okay. Once you see this, once you get to know the things, later you can try it out. Since this video will be available in YouTube, this video will be available in the YouTube. You can again go to that video link and you can redo the things. Just try to follow the video lecture, what we are doing, or the seminar, what we are doing, and then you can start this at some other later time. Okay. So let's go with the presentation. So for this, I have actually taken a PowerPoint presentation, which is my Microsoft 2019 edition. Probably if you have one, you can use it. If you don't have, it's okay. You can ask your institution, because Microsoft is providing Office 365, which is now called as Microsoft 365, for a free of cost. You can get a email ID from the college, that is a domain ID. For me, it is at pse.ac.in. My mail ID at pse.ac.in. Similarly, you can ask the college to provide you a mail ID, or you can ask the college itself to opt for that particular Microsoft edition. Once you have that edition, you can download it and you can start presenting. It's not only Microsoft, you can use many other offices like LibreOffice or anything else. So this is how a window looks. If I want to start with a new thing, let me show for a new thing. Probably you would have known all these things. So file, new presentations, and I can choose with different templates. If you want to have different templates, I can go with different templates, but usually I keep my presentation very simple and very straightforward. So I go with a very plain presentation, but later on we can go with the templates. These templates can also be downloaded from the online or many other templates.org ppt.org. There are many different websites which you give different sort of templates. Okay. So firstly, you should be having a main screen, which will be having introduction part. You can just mention the topic for the day, whatever you want to have. So you'll be mentioning the topic. But this topic will be mentioned at the later stage. Okay. And next we can go with a new slide and go with a title and a content. Want a title and a content to be present. So my next slides usually will be the agenda slide. So agenda for the class or agenda for the day, or it might be outline of my presentation. So it depends on your thing. So then I go with point A, point B, point C. So I'll be having different points. Point B, okay. Point C. So I can be having different sorts of points that I usually keep in agendas, so which I'll be reaching up. And later on, I'll be starting with point A, point B, point C. So this is point A. Under point A, I'll be speaking some things like line 1, line 2, line 3, or point 1, point, or sub points 1, sub point 2, sub points 3. So this is a very straightforward PPT. Okay, everyone knows this. Everyone will do this. Everyone can do this. But how to make it more attractive? That's the second. Make it more attractive. First thing is, as I already said, you can use this designs tab under your tab, and you can go with different sorts of design, which I've used now is this PPT. So if I use that particular design, you have a different design, and then you can your PPT will be somewhat okay now. It is somewhat good looking, and you can also even change the background and go with a different wallpaper or a very plain wallpaper, something like this. You can choose with the design. There are multiple designs. Even you can upload a theme that you want to like. I mean, whatever you like, or whatever the themes that is already been available in the market, you can go with the different sorts of themes. Okay? So design is one aspect. Next, coming back to this presentation, if I show you a normal presentation, it is just very lame. You can see all the points available here. It's not flying in. It's just on all the time. The points are on. So how to make that particular point come at a better rate or look good? What you can do is you can use something called as transitions over here, and you can use all this. You can select all this and you can click fade, or you can click something like scrolling. So usually when I go for scrolling, I go from right to left, left to right scrolling, because it's better in a class, so that they feel like the page is turned over and they feel like, okay, you're going with some sort of content. Okay, this is one thing. But the next thing is you have something called as morph. If I apply the morph animations, so this morph is so beautiful that it takes the content from one slide and it will be morphing out the things. So show this morph and use the effects. It should be in terms of words. Okay. So what happens here is when I use this, you can see that when I start morphing, okay, when I start morphing over here, you can see that there is a transition from your previous slide. Like if you had a word, so if you had a word, say for example, I have something over here, point A. Point A is what I speak in the first slide. So as I see the transition, that point comes and sits in my title. And you can see line 1, line 2, whatever I speak. So there is a transition of such manner. So this transition is called as morph. Using this morph, I can also use with characters. This is I have done with words. If I use with characters, say for example, I'll select morph and morph this with respect to characters. Then you have a character transition. So you can see the previous character will be coming and sitting in the next point, and the next characters will be getting jumbled up there. So it is somewhat presentable, rather than having a very boring presentation. You can have such different animations in your slide. But one more thing, when you have such animations, again try to keep the animations as simple as possible and as less as possible. Because more number of animations might again distract your students a lot. So they keep on speaking about the animations a lot. That is also has happened to me whenever I have a class. Whenever I have a game itself displayed on the board like PUBG, I'll be having a 2 minutes of discussion with the students. Okay, uh, chicken dinner and that this and that. So while thinking to play some images or some videos, think about it. Your class might also get disturbed or distracted, but try to bring it back to your topic or the knowledge what you want. So that's one more tip that I like to give. So this is one thing more. So even in this more, I can delete all this slide. I'll take a very simple thing. I have taken a very simple design, very plain design. What I do now is this is my title slide. Once I done with the title slide, I'll go to the new slide. I want this slide to be having no background at all. It should be just simple white. So for that, what you can do is right click on your slide window, check for format. So you have different sorts of format over here. So format background. So don't click on the click to add text box or click to add title. If you click on that, if you right click on that, it will show the properties of that. Okay? Click outside the PPT where you don't have anything and you just only have the slide. So when you go there, you have something called as format background. Once you click on format background, you can see here on the right, you have the options. You want a solid fill, you want color to be filled. So if I want to have a black slide, I can use a black fill. If I want to have a plain white fill, I can have plain white. And even if I want to not to have this graphic, I can just click on hide back graphics so that I don't have any graphics in my slide. It is a very simple, straightforward slide that I'll. Okay. Once I have done this, okay, let me delete this box. I don't want boxes. So what I can do now is I will start inserting a circle. Okay. So that is a shape, a basic shape. I just insert the fine. So once I've inserted this circle, I'll take another like this. Or else I can do I can take this as little and I can keep it as point. But this slide, say for example, I want to speak for 3 different points. It is some sort of process flow. I am speaking for a management class. I want to speak about innovation and I want to speak about why, what, where, and all. So I have done 3 boxes and my background is not good. So it is very plain. How to format it? So to format it again, format background, you get this. Here, I want to add a picture. So to add a picture, I can just go with picture or texture fill over here. Okay. So when I do this, it's so when I do this, this is what I get. I don't want to have this particular texture. Okay. At the back, I want to have an image. For that, what I do is I go with the file and I'll search for the file that is there within my window or within my uh, images folder. So if I have some image, I can add that particular thing. Or else if I don't have, don't worry, just go to the once I open the thing, I think I should share. So now what I want to do is I want to add a very good image, a management image on the backside. So what I do is I go with my Google, go for managing skills, search for the topic, go for the image. Once you go for the image, you'll get different sorts of image. Okay. So what I can do is I am searching for an image which has some back manager skills. I just want an office thing. Okay. I want. Okay. So I have taken this image. I just want to add something like this. What I can do is I take an image of manager. I'll download it, save this image. I'll save this image. I'll save it. So once I save it, I'll go to my PPT. Now I'll choose that particular file to be added in the background. I'll be inserting that picture. Now this picture has some boldness in it. So what I try to do is I try to keep it as transparent as possible. Try to keep it fit. Go with the correction help. Go with the correction help. Sharpness to be less. I can also reduce the brightness of this picture. So by doing this, I have reduced now my background, so it looks some manageable within. Okay, fine. So once we have done this part, what I do now is I have three circles over here. So what I can do is I can start writing in some text. I can also change this color with respect to background. I can do it somewhat bluish, or I can do it what light bluish. So this is point E I want to mention with different color, and I'll take a transition in different colors. Okay. This is how I can have different colors. Once I have this boxes, I can type in the names. Okay. Like insert. You can use the text box to add the text. Say why I want to do innovation. Your first point might be why. Is the point. Then you have something called as design. Okay. So under insert, you have icons. Click on the icons, and you'll be getting the icons that is available in the PowerPoint.
Live streaming is on.
So there was an issue with the stream. Sorry for that. Fine. So you might be thinking why? Why is this? So I'll be choosing this as my icon. So I'll be applying that icon over here. Might be like I just wanted to have Y as a brain, thinking brain. So I've added this over here. And here I want to add what? So what? And just again change your font size, increase it, what you want to innovate, something like that. Something like this we have done. Okay. So after doing internet is getting slow. Stream ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Probably there is some bandwidth issue that is going on currently. Probably that's the reason why we have a streaming issue going on. Hope that will be resolved as soon as possible. There is a 20-second delay, right?
Live streaming is on.
Okay. So sorry for all the things. It is having some network issues over here. With this COVID, we have network issues also. This is also one of the issues that students will be facing. That's why what we do is basically whenever we want to present online, we will be also recording the same screen, and I'll be uploading that to YouTube or any other media thing, media sharing platform, so that I can ask my students to look at the classes or take the notes at their pace. Fine. So with this, I have put say some what, why, how, and when. Something like this. I have 3 concepts that I'll be speaking about. How can I make it more beautiful? Something like SE style. I can also insert a few lines within this point. Something like this. Some thickness, shape of line, weight. The links that I have connected. I get 3 points or 4 points. Whatever I need to have. So similarly, after doing that, I can just connect other other way around. So like this, I can have a continuity. So after doing this, exactly. Okay. Fine. So I'll take a request. People are asking that how did we apply the circle? First of all, how did I apply the circle or insert the circle? One thing is go to your tab. The tab you have file, home, insert, design, and all. In insert, you have something called as shapes. Under insert tab, you have something called as share. Once you click on share, you'll be getting different sorts of structures. Even people who want to write flowcharts, you can take the flowchart. Okay. Or the photo. Okay, the photo can be placed. Just right click on your slide, go to format background, Okay, not a problem. I'll take another photo and I'll show that photo also. So please, I'll just take a photo. I'll take office and I'll take images of the office. And here I'm downloading, say for example, I want to have an office lookout. So I'm taking this image. Let me download this image and save it. Save the image. So from the internet, I have saved the image now. Okay. Yes. Save it. Once I have done that, I'll right click over here and I'll choose format background. Okay. Once I have chosen the format background thing, so I've chosen the format background, I'll be getting this format background option. Here, probably in the beginning, we'll be having something like this solid fill. I'll be selecting picture or texture fill. Once I go with the texture fill, I can go with the file. So selecting the file, I'll be getting a file window wherein I can actually take that particular image and I can apply the insert. So once I insert it, you can see the image that is already available in the background of my PPT. If you want to decrease the sharpness of this image, you can decrease it some level. Also, you can decrease the brightness. If the picture has a lot of contents, that should not distract your students. So I can reduce this. So in this way, you can reduce your background, but keeping in mind that context that what you're speaking about. Okay. Since I'm talking about managerial skills, I can have an office space or I can have a manager working some stuff I can speak about. Now coming to this animation part. Now what, why, how and all is placed here. So how can I animate this? How can I do for animation? So for this, what I can do is go to home, add a new slide. Okay. Here I'll again delete these things. I just want to keep it as simple as possible. What I do is I take the fill. Solid. Say for it, like want to hide the background. I don't have any background now. So what I do now is I have a text. So say for example, how I can start or why I should start. So why to innovate, to explore, or something like this. I have 2 points. So what I do is I take the same image that I had placed in my first slide. I'll go with the second slide and I'll paste it here. Now, what I can do is I can make it bit bigger. Why? So I can also increase this font so that it is more highlighted. So increase the 3%. And then I can speak about the PPT. Usually, whenever you do a PPT, the points, make sure that your point will be not more than 30. Each and every point that you pointed or write, that should be having a font size of 30. So I can have different points over here. Say for example, to innovate, explore, to XXX, something. So something like this, I have the points. So what I do now is, I want to add a better animation for this. I want to have some sort of zoom in animation. What I do now is, I go for insert, I go for something called as zoom, and here I have something called as slide zoom. When I go for slide zoom, you can select the slide that you want to zoom in. I'll be selecting the slide 3 and I'll be inserting that as slide zoom. So once you do that, and here after doing it, you'll be getting that slide over here. Okay, that slide will be available on your PPT. So what I would like is, I don't want this slide to be visible, but I want it to be shown as just Y. So to do that, I'll be two names. I yeah. Okay, we zoom in. Zoom in. The whole thing is old. Okay, it's okay. I'll be sharing another video on this at the later stage after this webinar, wherein things will be visible for you. It's not a problem. You can do it. But for time being, we'll go with the webinar since we have some time issues and we also have to get work. So see that. So what I do is after selecting all this, I'll check and Control G will be pressed. I'll select all this and I'll be calling it as Control G. Once I do this, this has now become a whole group. You can see here, it's already been grouped, but it is like if I just move this circle, it is now a group. The whole thing is a group. Okay? Once it is a group, I'll right click on it and I just want to save this picture. I'll call this a save as picture. And I'll call this as I'll save it. I'll let you know why that is done. Basically, once I've done that, with that, I'll delete that image. I'll be deleting this particular picture, deleting all these things, and I'll be adding my slide over here, slide which I have zoomed in. So once I have done this, I go with the format over here, and I want to format it, and I'll be calling it as zoom to background. I'll be selecting zoom background over here, which will make it zoom in feature background to that particular screen. The screen. And I don't want to show the slide. I don't want the student to see the slide in the beforehand. For that, what I can do is I'll go with that left corner which has change image, and I'll be changing that image to my previous image, which is stored in my file. So I'll be choosing from file, and the image that I want to place it is this. So now my image, what are the image that I have saved in the beforehand is already been shown here. So that is one more thing, and the next thing is I'll show what it looks like. Basically, this is how my PPT looks like. I run that. If I want to explain why, so once I click on why, you'll be actually taken to that why particular. Okay? So you can see that transition. So within why, I'm speaking about points, innovate, to explore, etc. But this will be not coming back to the actual slide because I want to come back to the actual slide. So what I can do is, on clicking that particular thing, I can add format again, and I can click on return to zoom feature. So this is called as slide zoom. Okay. So I can do the same thing for the remaining 3 circles. And if I start my presentation, it looks something like this. So the whole presentation will be available on screen. And when I click over here, it will get to your actual content where you can speak about all the content. To show this, I'll be sharing you that content. Wait. So when I speak about all these 3 points and when I click back, it will come back to the main slide. And again, you can click on what and you can speak about what. So I'll pause it here. I'll be opening a file which I had already created using this thing. Okay. I'll share with you that particular slide and you can just see how beautiful that looks at the end of the class. Basically, I have a something like this. So this was a presentation that I had done for my students to explain a concept of op-amp. So I wanted to explain what is the importance of it. So what I did was I did the same very style thing. Let me explain you. So this is my main screen. Okay. have a circuit in the back, which I'm speaking about electronics things. So I have this. So I want to start with op-amp thing. So I go and I speak about op-amp. When I'll be speaking what is an op-amp. So this point I'll be explaining what is the functionality of op-amp. Then I'll be speaking the types of op-amp. There are different types of op-amp that we have. Then application that is used. Okay. Again, when I click back, I'll come back to the main slide and then I'll speak about the outline of that particular talk. The outline what I have to speak. So outline will be like each and every one point. Not stuck. Okay, it's working. Is it string? So similarly, if I click on outline, I have outline points and I can start with introduction, operational amplifier. I can have this animation like each and every point which comes in. So I can show that also. I'll show it maybe later. When I speak about introduction. So you can see the importance of this slide zoom is like whenever I zoom in, I'm actually zooming into the image that I had already placed there. So see, I'm zooming into the component, right? So this is the beauty of this particular feature of slide zoom. There are many such things, like not even this 1 hour is enough for me to explain you the whole PowerPoint presentations and the beauty of it, how to make it interesting. But these are the basic features that we have in op-amp, which in PowerPoint that we have to explore, which we have a lot. So like this, I can actually have different slideshow features and all. So how to bring that points is the next thing. How to make that animations. So once I have placed some points like this, to explore to 1, 2, what you can do is you can select all this. Okay, select all this. Go to animations in your window. Okay, and click on fade or appear. So I'll be taking usually simpler ones. Fade. But if you see this PPT, it will be like all the points are coming together. It is not like one point at a time. I want one point at a time because whenever I get one point at a time, I can speak on one point for 2 seconds or 5 seconds, something. So for that, what I do is I click on animation pane over here and I can see that all the animations are coming together at the same time. Right click on it, start on click. Okay. So once I start on the click, and you can see now each animation has a time. Like it starts with a click. So you can see as I do this, you have to innovate. One point is coming. Once I do the second click on my mouse, I'll be getting the second point. When I do the third click, I'll be getting the third point to come out. Both point. So this is how I can add this sort of animations. Even the animations can be like if you are teaching for kids and kids love to have that motion or different sort of animation. So you can do the points to come and line. Your points might be like lying in. And do different things. So those animations can be chosen from this window where you have something called as animations. Okay? And you can also have the points to uh, uh, disappear after the point has been appeared. You can make the point to disappear. Like say for example, the first point have to be disappeared after after the second point comes in. So what I can do is I can select that particular line, choose add animation, and go here and add something called as exit. When I select exit, I'm choosing fade. It exits. But see, when I do this, it is not exiting or it is not disappearing after the first point. It is exiting after the last thing. Why? Because in your animation pane in the right corner, you can see that exit animation is at the last. So you can reorder that also at what point you want that particular point to exit. Okay. So if you see now, I have that point that has got disappeared. So the second point is start. Similarly, you can add it, you can disappear it, or you can make it to move something like this. If I want to move this point after some time, so I'll just choose it. I want to add animation, and I want to have this particular point to top or bottom. So what I do is I just select the whole thing. What I just did was I selected the whole thing. I grouped it. Grouping is Control G. So this whole became one particular group. So I can play with the whole thing. So once I have done that, I select that, add animation, or under animation stack, move the beneath part where you want to have motion, and I can actually have different types of motion like align motion, arc motion, turn, or a custom motion. Custom motion is the one which you write, come from here to here. I've written this. So now my animation will be moving here. So you can see my animation has moved from this point. So similarly, I can add different sort of things to my animation, and I can make it more presentable or more attractive to the students. And the next thing is how to add the image animations that I had shown. So those are called as GIFs. Okay, it is called as GIF files. So it is very simple. Go to your Google. So now I want to add, okay, let me say a PUBG itself. PUBG GIF. So next, you'll be getting that PUBG GIF, and once you open it, I get a GI of PUBG shoot. Like if I want to explain something about aiming or objective, I can use such GIF. I'll copy it directly from here. Sometimes you have to save it and then add it to your PPT, or simply copy it, go to your PPT file, and just paste it. Okay, we'll paste automatically. Choose. Think this as, like, I'll call this PPT as aim. What is the aim of the class? So once I start presenting, you can see there is that particular GIF file running. Also, you can speak about your aims. I mean, whatever point A, point C, you can make your point appear as it. So like this, you can add different sorts of images relevant to your course. Okay. So I was explaining about the process to process communication. There is some concept called as cookies. What I did was I just took a cookie GIF. I placed a cookie GIF wherein the cookie get eaten up by one particular person, and it gets reduced, something like this. And I pasted it there in my PPT. What is cookies? So something like this. This particular animation, what you're seeing, will be available in your presentation. Okay. So hope what are the things that I've explored here is very few. I know because of some lags in the network and all, but still, whatever we had discussed, I hope this is helpful. So please comment if you want to have any such more webinars and presentations. Just let us know. We'll try to arrange such webinars only on Microsoft presentation, how to prepare a presentation. If you want anything specific now with regards to presentation, you can just put your comments in your comment section so that I'll be more happy to explain that particular part in your presentation. If there is anything, I can help you out. Actually, there are many more things that you can actually add. Like there are like master slide. If I want to have the same logo, like if you see our PPT that I had presented here. So if you see this particular PPT, I have added this bottom footer for all the slides. Okay. So this bottom footer can also be added for individual slides or a complete whole slide. That can be done using something called as insert, and we go with the slide liquidation thing. Design link to view, and here under view you have something called as slide master. Using slide master, you can add as many things as possible to this slide. So what is slide master is? It is a master slide. if whatever the edit that you do here, this edit will be available on the complete slides that you do in this particular presentation folder. Okay. So for example, if I want to add a image, say for example, I want to take this thing. It's already added. So I have added this and this over here. I'll add here. So I've got this particular file, slide master, and I'll be adding to the subsequent files. So as you can see, the remaining folders will also be having at the end, like close it, close the master, and you can see the slide master is already having it. That is the main slides what we have done. Those slides will be having it. Why not this slide? Because the image I have already added the format background. Hence it is not available here. But I can also add the same thing over here just by using this. So like this, you can have many different things that can add it over here. So hope I have conveyed the things that I wanted to convey, but still I wanted to convey more hard things. Hope you all are satisfied to some level. I hope so. I'll try to improve myself. So end of the session we have reached. The outcome of this session was, you got to know this importance. Okay, I'll have it. Basically what you can do is, say for example, I have a slide. Take a slide here. So I have something. So wait a minute, I'll type in something. Okay, enter text, insert text box. I'll write something youtube.com. So this is a hyperlink I have to do. Okay, now I have to hyperlink this. What I do now is I'll select that particular line. Okay, use hyperlink there, click on it, and later it will ask text display is what. So I want to display this as linked, and here the address should be www.tube. So once I do this, I click on OK. So I can see you have created a hyperlink here, wherein it will be showing in the color. So once I click using Control, and that will be taking that particular youtube.com. So you can see it is now already being taken youtube.com from my browser. From the website itself, it will be taking to that particular browser page. So similarly, you can add any web pages like in your PPT, some web page related to media or something related to your website that you want to share in that class. You can also add the files, videos. There are many stuff that you can add. You can also even add your Google Drive files over here, and you can share it so that students, if I share this PPT with a student, one student clicking on that particular link can directly access to my Google Drive and you can download that particular files. So these are the advantages of link. If you want to add audio files and video files, what you can do is insert and here you can see audio and video. Click on audio on my PC. If it is on my PC, or if you want to record your own audio, you can also record your own audio with the help of a microphone, and you can narrate the PPT. Actually, you can narrate each slides, and you can record that slide, and you can share that slide to a student. That will be done on the day 3. So you can stay here. The recording of the PPT with audio and the screencast, how to share a video on media, social platforms and all. We'll be sharing that on the day 3. Okay. So this is things that we can have in PPT. Also, you can add the video from the other content where you can see that the video thing. So to conclude, we have seen the factors that we have to keep in mind when preparing the presentations, and we have to always stick on to a simple, attractive presentations. So whatever I think I've showed is somewhat simple. It is not complex. You also, people, please try to keep presentations simple. Points, no paragraphs, because no one want to read the presentations. Everyone want to read just a point. They want to keep the point, and they'll be listening to whatever you speak. So want to speak on the points what you have put, so that they'll correlate the points to the explanation what you give. Finally, how can I improve? Practice, practice, practice. The more we practice, the quality of my talk, the quality of my presentation keeps on increasing. It might not be exponential as what you see here, but gradually it will be linear, or it will be kind of parabolic. This last quotes that I would like to share with you all. You may only succeed if you desire succeeding. You might only fail. You do not mind failing. So a famous proverb by a journalist, who is a French journalist. We can just have this. And thanks for listening the whole webinar. So if you have anything, we'll be sharing the material at the end of the webinar. Now, my friend Lars will take the presentation and this session. Hope this was helpful. What are the part we have done? What are the bit I have done is good. I hope that you enjoyed it. Apart from that, technical issues, everything was understandable, I guess. If there is any feedback or anything, you can please just post it later. We'll be sharing you the feedback forms. And thank you. Thanks for everyone joining for today's session. Thank you. Have a good day. I'll be sharing it to Plus. Bye.
So I hope you all able to enjoy a lot of things with us. And we saw a lot of different features were explained by Mr. Palnetra, and we were able to bring in something like some of the animations and trying out to use those slide zoom in and zoom out technology. And I know that most of you have already been with a lot of technological usage. I think you would have done a lot of PPTs and all. So this one reason why I took about this, we took about this is because that we have heard and we have received a lot of requests, and they have all said that they were quite finding it complex with respect to making a PPT only. So we started with the basic. So those who were already knowing about the presentation and you were quite amazing doing all those things, then thank you for your time that you gave us with us. And I hope we have learned something, and all your suggestions and responses with respect to improvement with doing any different type of PPTs will be always accepted. So the other thing that I would like to add on is that, so now with respect to this situation, most of us would have understood what is the thing that we are supposed to do with respect to presentation, right? So once we have got to know that, now the question is where to go and implement this. So it's a very big question mark that we have, right? So for that, we have a very small thing that I'm going to tell you all about that. And once after that, I think we'll be just concluding this session, and you'll be getting the links with respect to the test for this day. So when we are doing this, the first thing that we should know is that uh, here we go. So what are the takeaways we did? So we are able to understand what is the need to make an attractive presentation. So he has already explained. He is able to tell you about building up the value of a content. And he has also told you that what are the things that you are supposed to put in the presentation and what are the things that you may neglect sometimes because we are not supposed to put some paragraphs in all those things. Then comes like what we are supposed to deliver through voice. So we say that we have got a point there in the presentation, but we go with a big explanation later on, right? So that's why always important. Then we also know that what kind of audience are there. So we should keep that in our mind. Then only we prepare our presentation. Right now, whatever that you would be commenting with me would be something like you have been already known about presentations and still explain some basics. So the point that I would like to include is that there are many people who are not able to do any kind of simple presentations also. For them, I think this could have been a very good usage, right? So the next thing that we are supposed to tell you is that where are you going to implement this? Once I've learned everything, so where do I use it? So it's a very big question mark that we have, right? So if I want to implement this, I should be knowing where, when, how to implement, right? That is a simple thing that I could say is that your regular class presentation, you can use presentations like projector presentations, or sometimes you would share the screens with respect to many different users display, and you can just do it. The other thing is that digital classrooms. So about digital classrooms, we'll be speaking tomorrow. And the next thing is that important thing that I would like to say is that freelance content development. It's not so simple, right? So if you want to do this freelance content development, we can go with a lot of different opportunities. So we all see that Byju's, we know, we see SlideShares, we know many different people, Udemy, you see your NPTEL courses and all that. Where are they coming from? Are they doing something so special with respect to presentation? If you ask me, I would say no, because there is something that is already there. We find it out. We try to dig into the software. We learn something that is new from out of it. Once we have got all those things, we are able to do all those things by ourselves. Instead of just that, I cannot blame this that I am a professional and I should not come out of the professional ethics. But keeping that in mind, other way around, once I'm done with my profession, I'll be doing very good work for my students. But after that, it's not bad if you can do it freelance. So today we see many of them doing freelance. Right? So this is also one of the opportunity which we can take it up and you can go ahead with respect to freelancing in private digital courses or programs. You are able to earn, make a mark of it. Right? So with respect to implementations, important thing that we'll be speaking is digital classroom or online or live teaching for us. So let us not worry about other things. These two things that are very much important with respect to our institution or our profession. For all the teachers, using digital classroom is a need now, and then the online live teaching is an option. So we come with both, right? So specifically with respect to digital classroom, we have got multiple digital classrooms available with us. So we have Google Classroom, we have Edmodo, we have Talent LMS, we have Schoology, we have many different digital classrooms coming up. In this session, whatever that I'll be taking tomorrow, I would be coming up with an explanation for two things. One is your Google Classroom, and the other one is your Edmodo Classroom. So two things which we'll be able to we'll go with that, and we'll try to understand what is the actual thing that is actually going on with those two things. How many different features we have? So there are many different features that we will be expecting: creating a poll, placing a quiz, asking an assignment. If suppose they are writing by hand, handwritten, how do we get that assignment to digital classrooms? So for all these questions, I'm going to answer tomorrow. So we have these two classrooms which are very nicely designed, and they are free of cost, available for free for every teacher or everyone. I would say you can download, you can just use it. You do have a mobile app also. Many things I have. I'll come up with a lot of explanations on these digital classrooms, and I'll explain you in a better way how do I go with this and all that. I hope those problems, whatever we found with respect to audio, and you will not be able to view those small options which were there with a very small font size. I'll change it. We'll come up with a bigger one, and we'll try to put all these things more visible for you. and make it more understanding for you all. With respect to, before I just conclude mid session, what I just want to do is that I have presentation also, small video that I was supposed to tell you about our Diksoochi. Here we have Mr. Bharat. He will be speaking one or two lines. Kindly, we'll hear to that.
For this workshop on digital classroom. So this workshop will give you a clear idea about how effectively we should use digital classroom for teaching. So this is the first event that is conducted by Diksoochi. I'm here to brief you about Diksoochi. So we will start with a small story about Diksoochi. So firstly, there was one village. In that village, there was a wise man who used to solve the problems of the people. So once there was a farmer who had three sons. So this farmer was in debt and he wanted to distribute his assets to all of his three sons. So he called the first son. So he said that you can take around 1/3, that is 1/2, one by half of his cows. And he called the second son and he said that he can take around 1/3 of his cow. And he called the third son and he said that he can take around 1/9 of this cow. So after the death, after the funeral, three siblings wanted the asset. So the problem was they had 17 cows. So they wanted to distribute. So as per their father's wish. So the first son was supposed to get half of the cows. That is 17/2 is 8.5, which is a fraction. And the second son was to get around 17/3 of the cow. That is around 5.6. And the third son was supposed to get around 17/9 cows. That will make around 1. But we can't divide the cows in fraction. So they had this problem and they went to the wise man. So this wise man got to know the problem and he just came up with a solution and he wanted to donate one more cow. That will make around 18 cows. The total number of cows will be 18. So 18 divided by 2 will be 9 and 18 divided by 3 will be 6 and 18 divided by 9 is equal to 2. So the first son got 9 cows, the second son got 6 cows and third son got 2 cows. So the total number of cows is 9 plus 6 plus 2 will make around 17. So one of the cow was extra. So that cow was the wise man's cow. So the wise man took the cows back. So here, the team of Diksoochi will be acting as the wise man, where we will be suggesting or we will be giving a perfect option for the problem of the student, that is the selection of the courses. So we will give them a brief elaboration about what are the courses that is available all over India and what they are interested in. So which path they could choose, which college they could choose. So we have done a survey from past 2 years about the colleges that is available. We have talked with the college people. We have talked with the students, and we have communicated with the alumni who are successful in their own area. So we have also collected the information on the job perspective, which job that course by selecting one of the course, which job a student can get, and what is the maximum amount of what is the maximum amount of packages they could get. So we have collected all. So we will be the students of 10th standard, 12th standard to select, to keep their options open, to tell them what are the options, what are the wide variety of options that is available all over the country. And also we will be consulting their parents as well as students in one-on-one meeting and just elaborate what are the variety of courses that can be chosen by the student. So in our days, it was difficult to know this information. As from my point of view, I have faced such situation. I guess some of you has already faced this situation. to choose a perfect course for their career. So Diksoochi is the meaning of compass. So we are giving a perfect way for the students as well as for the parents to select the course for the future of the student. So this is about Diksoochi. I hope you will use this platform to help students as well as to help your own children. So we will be giving the best option for these students as well as so I welcome for this workshop, which will be very informative and
with respect to the attendance. That takes the call and the test is lectures, and we already followed all everything for you with respect to that, and I've got till by now. You have got till by now. So you would have what you have received mails, and the group will also be getting a lot of email. You will get the group link also. You will get the form link through WhatsApp group also. I'll be just posting the group link for you all in the groups as well. So whatever the thing that we have learned here today with respect to the presentation and all, we will be able to understand where we are going to implement this in our daily life or usage. So be connected with us through the subscription with respect to our channel, because you will get an alert with respect to the start of stream and everything from tomorrow. So I'll give you more information. And of course, the recording of the complete video will be shared to you all by the end of this day. And your test form link is given already on the screen. You can just copy it or you can write it. If not, the same thing has been sent to you on emails also. You can just click on the link and give us a small test. And please, it's a very big request that enter your email IDs very properly, because the certificates are shared to you through emails only. Your email ID is very much important. Kindly enter your email ID very properly. Your email IDs are very much important. Please note it. I have mentioned it specifically on the form also. Still, I am telling you again, specify your email ID very properly. Don't forget to subscribe our channels, and you can find the details of the speaker for today, that is Mr. Palnetra's profile with respect to LinkedIn and his own personal website. Link in the description of this video. So find in this link and you can speak to that person if you have any. I think he will be ready to answer to you all that time. So same way, we are also ready to respond to you anytime. So any small changes or any problems that you have found, so please do come back to us and write to us stating that you have got some problems. So we have sorry. Okay, link. Okay, I'll just open the link. I have not opened the link. I'm just sharing the link. I'll just open the link for you all in just 1 second, because I'm just sitting in front of the screen. I have got my laptop in the other place, so I just need 1 minute for me to just open that link. Give me a second. I'll just do it right now. Thank you so much for watching our video and for being with us. Hope we have tried to be something that is special for you all. And the last thing that I'll be telling you all is that things that we have already considered for the operation is specific, and I hope you all have understood something that is special. So thank you so much for being with us, and I'll be looking forward to meet you all tomorrow. And I hope we have made it more effective and we have made it quite useful for everybody. But from a lot of lectures, and they have told us that there are problems in writing content and all that. And from tomorrow, we'll be speaking about where are we going to use this content. That's always important, right? We'll not just prepare, we'll use it for somewhere. So we will do that. We are supposed to end using it somewhere. We learn that, implement it somewhere. So we will implement it in the digital classroom and digital different eras. And we'll come back to online class and all that in the last day, how to record a video, which all the ways that we have for recording the video and all that I'll speak in the last day. And we'll also give you some more different courses which you will be able to understand the real life digital marketing, where you can put your lectures or videos on Steam, and if possible where you can earn. So we will come back to you with all those information as soon as possible. Hope you have enjoyed our session, and Thank you so much for being with us for the very long time. I hope we have tried to complete with respect to the requirements that we had kept for this day, and you all have enjoyed it. If you have got anything, please put it in the comment section, or you can write to us at info.diksoochi@gmail.com, or you have my our WhatsApp number is 7892702575. It's always shared with you many times. Sorry for the disturbances. Sometimes I may post a lot of posts in the group. Thank you so much for understanding. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.